this is Minecraft, and this is IRONCURSE, and today I'm going to be building Frontford in Minecraft, so let's get into it. As you can see, I decided to start with the paths, which I use muddy mangrove roots for. Now, I've never used muddy mangrove roots for anything before, so I didn't know how good they look, but compared to the reference, they actually did look quite cool. Now, I did mess up with the scale a bit, like some of the paths were 3 wide and they should have been 2 wide. It wasn't too difficult to fix, and it did look a lot better after I fixed it. It was also around then that I realised that I also had done some of the other paths wrong, so I quickly fixed them. Luckily I realised this early on that they were wrong and not later on. It was about here where I finished up the path, and I decided to move on to the houses next. Now, this first house gave me a lot of trouble. I messed it up quite a few times. I changed it about a billion times because I just didn't like how it looked. Like, come on, this just looks horrible. This roof just does not fit at all. But yeah, it was difficult to get this one right. I started by making it 3 blocks tall, but then realised that was way too short. Now, to be fair to myself, I was following the reference image basically religiously, and to be fair, they did look like they'd be 2 blocks tall, but I did have to end up extending them to 3 blocks tall. And that's kind of the problem of this whole following the reference image thing, because I was trying to build a 2D thing in a 3D block game. So it was quite difficult to get the scale right, but I kind of just had to deal with it sometimes. As you can see here, I completely tore down the roof, made a new one. Now, I still think they do look a little bit tall, but I'm still proud of them. They do look quite accurate. I mean, the roof is kind of just still quite off, but it's not too bad. And don't worry, this was the only house that gave me difficulty. I mean, there's only like 2 types of houses in the game, but still. After I built this one, it was relatively simple to get the other ones right. And as you can see here, I built the other 2 houses on the other side. Now, there are quite a few houses in the first main area, but for some reason there's only 2 types of houses, which, like, I'm not complaining. These were difficult to build, I'm not gonna lie. I still think there could be a bit more variety, but you know what? I'm not the developer, so I kind of don't have any input on it. Here I decided to make some banners to be for the windows, and honestly, I'm really happy with how the banners came out. I think they're really cool. Now here you can see I kind of got the scale a little bit wrong. Like, there are supposed to be 4 houses along this small area and they just didn't fit. So I kind of had to just merge the roofs into each other, which honestly was a little bit annoying because it just didn't look right. But you know, it's not too big of a deal. They still look fine, I guess. After finishing up the houses, I moved on to the smaller details. As you can see here, I tried to make the dummy stand thing. I don't really know what it's called. And turns out I don't know how armor stands work. As you can see here, I failed to move them into the middle. I don't even know what I was trying. It's just sad to watch. So In the end, as you can see in a second, I just decided to make it 3 blocks by 3 blocks instead of trying whatever the hell this is. I mean, this is just embarrassing by this point. Then I forgot how moving armor stands and blocks work. Turns out you can't just push the block into the armor stand because that moves the armor stand. You gotta push it from above. So I'm stupid. Now the top of the armor stand was looking a bit bare, so as you can see I added a gold helmet, and I decided to add a bamboo trapdoor just to make it look a bit more full. The colours don't match perfectly, but it's good enough. I also decided to add arms. I put buttons on, not fence gates. That did not work at all. Next was the well, which honestly did not take that long to build. It took like 2 seconds. It was really fast. I honestly love how it turned out. Then I added a few fences that are just randomly dotted around for seemingly no reason. Before placing down these lantern things, I think they're lanterns, they're supposed to be fire in the game, but I kind of couldn't do that. Then I added the NPCs, which was very fun and definitely didn't take way too long for no reason. Seriously, why is it so annoying to place down these mannequin things? Mojang, please change this. I mean, you have to put the exact coordinates into the command. Now I know I'm lazy, but yeah, it's not my fault. Now on to adding trees. Now, when I say there was a lot of trees, I mean there was a lot of trees. I don't know why there's so many trees in the game. There was also some flowers, which there weren't as many as there were trees, but there was still a lot of flowers and trees. Honestly, this is probably my favourite part about this, the flowers, because I wouldn't be able to add such detail otherwise, and it just makes it look so much more alive. And can we also talk about how similar these little wildflowers look to the flowers in the game? Now, I'm not saying that someone copied someone else, but I think someone might have copied someone. And here I decided to add some moss streaks into the ground. Honestly, I love these now. I didn't know how it's going to turn out when I first added them, but they look just a lot better than flat grass. Honestly, this is just one of the best ways in building that you can make your grass look better, because at the end of the day, grass is grass. Now, one thing that was really annoying was replacing these wildflowers to add these little moss bits in. In hindsight, I probably should have added the moss first, but like I said earlier, I'm stupid and decided not to. There was also a lot of moss I had to add, like all these around the sides were just moss. You can't really see it very well here because it's so zoomed out, but there was a lot of moss. There was also a lot of trees around the outside. In the game, these are supposed to act like a barrier, but I kind of didn't want to do that because then it would be connected. So instead I just decided to put some short grass in between them and call it a day. The tree design I decided to go with was really simple, honestly, but I actually really like it. It kind of does really resemble like it does in the game. The only problem, like I said earlier, is it didn't cover the whole outside, but I think it's fair because just they look good. Here I made the gate that normally leads to the bamboo forest, then I finished off the final wall of trees. Next I moved on to the apple section, which honestly, what is this area? Like, I know it's for a side quest at the start, which you have to do, but what is this place called? Actually, I don't know. Now, these trees did give me a little bit of trouble because they kind of didn't fit right. Like, there was too many of them for such a small space, so I kind of just made the space bigger. That was really it. The apples, I made flower pots because they're the most apple-looking thing in the game. Well, that you can place down. And also this chest area, I have no idea what it's called. As I expanded out, I also had to expand the moss, and I just thought this shot looked quite cool, of me just making more rows of moss. When you take the grass out and don't put the moss down, it looks a bit weird, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the moss looks quite cool. Now, earlier when I said there was a lot of trees, yeah, there is a lot of trees. I kept having to just dot them about in random places, like in this corner here and around the outside. Honestly, I quite like the trees, especially because, well, they just make it look more full and clearly empty space. After adding about 1 billion trees, I moved on to this little pond area. I don't exactly know why this is here, but honestly, I quite like how I actually did it. Like, in a minute you'll see on the bottom I kind of lined it with, I can't remember whether it was cyan concrete. I think it was cyan concrete, just to make it look like it was deeper than it was. I think it was a really nice touch. And honestly, that was the last main bit. After that, I kind of just went on to detailing, like the flowers. I probably had some more trees and just general stuff like that to make it look a lot more nice. And with that, the build is finished. It took about 2 hours, and honestly I'm really happy with how it came out. Especially since I was trying to build something in 2D in a 3D game. Yeah, this is the end result. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.